Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm your host, Jessica Van Antwerp. I'm the owner, an educator, and retreat leader for Integral Travel, helping transform your life by teaching you health and wellness tools to unlock the natural healing capacity of your body. And today we are going to be finishing up our series on the 8 Tenets of Wellness, talking about diet. And we have a very special guest today here joining me, one of my favorite people in the whole world, Kelly Sheridan. Kelly's a licensed acupuncturist and functional medicine practitioner. She's passionate about helping people uncover root causes for health concerns and reversing chronic illness naturally. She skillfully combines acupuncture with research-based nutrition, supplement protocols, and lifestyle strategies to help people restore health, happiness, and vitality to their lives. Kelly's treatments focus on getting to the root of a condition and healing from that place outward. Her intention is to help her clients move forward, truly free from what has been holding them back in life. Welcome, Kelly. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we are talking about diet today. And, there's lots of information out in the health and wellness field about diet, what we should be eating, what we shouldn't be eating. And so, and today you and I are going to focus in on cleansing. And there's also a lot of myths out there about cleansing and diet. So why don't we start by you just sharing with us how you got interested in this aspect of health and wellness?
Okay, so that's a great question. And I think I was initially working as an acupuncturist and just seeing a lot of my clients that were coming to me either for fatigue, hormonal issues, sleep issues, digestive issues, and I can do what I can do in the extent of a treatment with them. But the underlying root causes of most problems are nutrition is what I sort of started to understand within myself. And I didn't have time to address this in sessions with people. I have an hour, they want what they want to leave feeling good. And you don't have time to get into the nitty gritty of, what time to eat your meals or what a balanced plate looks like or what seasons you should be eating what foods. And there is, like you said, there is so much confusion around like the ratios of your diet and should I be adding this supplement, and just like there's all of this information and there's also misinformation that exists, and it's really, really confusing for people. So I started to just want to put together basically a manual that's a how-to guide that is informational and educational, and it also provides someone like all of the steps that they need: diet, meal plan, this is how you should structure your week, you should make these meals on these days. So someone could just go online, purchase a product, and then have delivered to their email a 1-month guide and education system for nutrition that makes everything hands-off and super simple for them. The only thing that's really hands-on is you have to cook for yourself.
Okay.
Most people, there is some resistance to doing that.
Right. And I think that comes from a lack of skill, know-how, and B, a lack of time. I know I love cooking, but I have a very busy life, and sometimes I just don't have time to do all the prep and the cleanup, for 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
So the program you're talking about, I think is called the Meta Reset, and it's framed as a cleanse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen some interesting research recently sort of debunking cleansing. So tell us how the Meta Reset is different from a traditional cleanse, say something like the Master Cleanse or a Fuse Cleanse.
Yeah, so the Meta Reset is basically an elimination diet. I don't know if you or any of the listeners have heard of anything like that. But an elimination diet is basically we remove all of the sources of inflammation from our diet. And some of the more common sources of inflammation are wheat, corn, soy, gluten, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. So we sort of created the Meta Reset to eliminate all of these things in a super friendly way that is still satisfying. My partner and I, we test drove all of the recipes, we tweaked stuff, and we did it ourselves a number of times before, we put it on our website and put it on the market. And I can honestly tell you that every time I've done the meta reset, I'm like, oh my God, like I am eating gourmet food for every meal. This is insane. This is like what you would go to any fancy bougie restaurant and pay, $22 a plate for this. It's just like clean, dense nutrition that's packed with antioxidants and superfoods and all the things that your body needs to really thrive.
That sounds amazing. So, what I'm hearing you say is that it's not, it differs from like the master cleanse. For those of you that may not be familiar with the master cleanse, that's like the lemon juice and cayenne and I think maybe a little bit of maple syrup that you just drink. And it's so that's like a liquid cleanse that you're
Yeah.
just drinking that for however many days you choose to do it, which I think is super harsh on the body. As our juices are often really high in sugar in order to make them palatable. They have like some of the key ingredients, even if you're putting like beets and carrots, which are vegetables, they have a lot of sugar in them. So I know that I've done a juice cleanse before and actually it messed up my digestion rather than helping it coming off of it. It was horrible. So I don't recommend that. And so this is the meta reset is just you're still eating food. You're just eliminating those inflammatory things from your diet in order to increase your own vitality and nutrient content from the inside out. So,
Yeah, I think just to speak to one of the things that you're talking about, Jess, is our digestive systems work when we eat. Like that is the main premise of how digestion works. And it can be a reset to remove, food from your life for maybe one day a week or maybe 12 or 14 hours a day to give your digestive system the chance to like do its work, do its cleaning. Because what happens when we stop eating is all of this sort of like scouring action can happen inside of our intestines through the migrating motor complex, and it can actually push stuff through. So then there's a clean slate for when you put more food in. But if you just stop eating altogether, it sort of shuts down your ability to digest and all those enzymes that we use for digestion and, just the function of like all of the squeezing that happens in our digestive system. It's not being promoted when you're not eating.
oh, well, that explains why I had so much trouble coming off that juice cleanse. It was
Yeah.
a 7-day thing. And so I didn't eat any solid food for 7 days. And so, yeah, those motor actions that are normally driving our digestion had sort of shut down, I guess. So that's interesting.
So I can talk a little more. Spring is a great time for cleansing. And I think I'm just starting to think about that in my own life. In the winter, we sort of want to be in this, accumulation phase, if you will, of just being gentle with our bodies, eating warm food, not being scared to eat extra fat, extra carbohydrates because it's cold outside and we need, for thermoregulation, we need to eat those calories. And in the spring, like in Chinese medicine and a lot of traditions, spring sort of correlates with the liver, which correlates with cleansing. And it's just when new life and all new beginnings in the world are starting. So it's really good to get on track in your own life, just in a cyclical way with an elimination diet. And what the elimination diet does is, so our program is set up that it's 4 weeks and you eliminate all these inflammatory foods for 4 weeks.
Do you eliminate them all at once or one at a time?
You eliminate them all at once. The things that are optional are, well, not really. Caffeine, caffeine is optional. I drink coffee. I drink 1 glass of coffee a day or 1 glass of caffeinated tea a day. And I would never tell anyone not to do that because some people, really need that in the morning. Alcohol is something that we advise strict elimination of, and we see the best results when people do that. When I've done this program in the past, I allowed myself 1 cheat day a week, and it would be a clear liquor that I would drink with a bubbly water. And that's actually like the least sugar. And part of like one of people's biggest addictions is the hardest to get off of is sugar, really. And it's a hidden ingredient in so many foods. So, yeah, if you do choose to have, a drink a week, we would just advise to drink it with bubbly water and lime and stay clean, as clean as you can on that front.
What is it about the bubbly water that?
Nothing. It just makes it fun.
Oh, okay.
You could just like drink a shot of vodka if you want, but I don't know many people that do that personally.
That's right. That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I love what you were saying about the springtime being a great time for cleansing, because one of our other tenets of wellness is nature and just living in harmony with nature, sort of following the signals of nature. So as you mentioned, the winter time is a time of, well, the rest of nature anyway, sort of goes into hibernation, slows down. There's not as much animal activity out in the world. A lot of creatures just completely go into hibernation and go to sleep, including even plant life. Deciduous trees drop all of their leaves and they go inward. And so in the springtime, when all those little buds are starting to come out of the trees and all the little plants are starting to poke their heads up out of the snow-covered ground. If you live in that sort of climate, then that's also a great time for you to start coming out of your little shell that maybe you went into over the winter. Maybe one, winter 5 pounds, and it's time to shed that. So that's beautiful. I'm curious about the Meta Reset. You mentioned there are recipes sent to your inbox every single day. Do they include grocery lists?
So the program, it's 28 days and it involves week by week meal plans with daily recipes, a weekly planning food guide. So it's just like a week blocked out and it says on Monday, like we like to prepare these meals. So some of the meals are recycled just to lighten the load of people cooking for themselves 3 times a day, because not everyone has that time. And then you get a daily educational email, and the educational emails are like worth their weight in gold, really, because you can go back to them ever, and they cover topics, such as how much water should I drink in a day, and how many hours a day should I abstain from food, and why do I want to do a reset, and what do these inflammatory foods do to my digestive tract, and why should I stop drinking alcohol? So they're all just like the questions that we all have about nutrition and can get easily confused about. And they're delivered in a user-friendly format, so they're not super sciencey. We tried like not to dumb it down, but to provide information that's palatable for just a general reader, and that everyone can make use of going forward in their lives and feel empowered about their own nutrition. Of like, I know I should drink half of my weight in water ounces per day because I'm 80% water and that's really good for me. Like, there's simple facts that are backed by science and functional medicine and that everyone can benefit from learning. So for anyone who does buy the program, I would really recommend to, I know it's a lot that you get this email to your inbox every day. That's another piece of education, but just when you drink your tea in the morning, if you're making the commitment to do a program like that, just set aside 10 minutes and read, scan through the email and take what you can from it. And then you can, always go back later.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of the testimonials that you've gotten from people who completed
It's really cool.
In their lives?
So I think like a lot of people will go into a program like this for weight loss, and we have seen amazing results from people who commit to the program, like to the T, eat 3 meals a day, eat the meals that we recommend in the servings we recommend, only snack on the snacks we recommend, like 12 almonds or a piece of dark chocolate, which is a great snack. People have lost like 12 to 15 pounds in 28 days. And so that's someone who has 12 to 15 pounds to lose on their body. So that is like the biggest, like, whoa. And that's, I think other people say like, it's just so delicious and I would have never tried these recipes. And I feel more confident in my kitchen, like mixing and matching ingredients that I wouldn't have, or that I can go forward from this with a whole foods based diet on my own. And then there's a lot of improvements in people's skin. People who have like breakouts or oily skin, dry skin, they just start to see changes from eating more fat and less toxins in their diet. And then people are sleeping more soundly because they're removing some of, the sugar and alcohol and stuff like that that might affect our sleep life.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
So it helps us.
So overall, it's great for anyone who is willing to make the commitment. And it does, I think willpower's the biggest thing that would prevent someone from doing something like this. You have to be, willing and wanting to embrace the change that will lead to a deeper level of health in your nutritional life.
And in terms of that commitment, about how much time would you say per day that someone would need to spend?
No, I don't know. Like, I think if you really look at the menu and what's going on with the week, you can set it up for yourself. You don't even need to follow our guidelines of like, a lot of it is stuff like make a big pot of chicken soup or put some big trays in your oven and cook a whole chicken with roasted vegetables underneath of it and then portion that out throughout the week. So if you can block out, 2 to 2.5 hours a couple times a week, like twice a week, I think you can get through pretty much everything without any problems. And then there's also like, you'll just learn, even if you don't follow the menu to the T and you don't have that exact time in your life, you'll learn, oh, they're combining these things. I can go pick up a rotisserie chicken, or eggs and avocado and greens is like always a really healthy meal that I could eat for breakfast, or I can put some almond yogurt and greens and ginger and collagen and a couple blueberries into a smoothie and let that come to room temperature and just drink that for my breakfast. And if you find yourself lacking on time, I think there's enough information there that you can be like, oh, I like this recipe and it's quick, so I'm just going to repeat that every day and not do almond flour pancakes or something like that.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So for anyone out there who is living under some time constraints, be it because of job or children or both, and all the other things of life, then there's some quick and easy recipes in there.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, thanks so much for all of this information. For our listeners and viewers who want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
The best way to get in touch with me is at metareset.com. That's our website, and all of our products are there. We also have a really cool immune boost guide that's a totally different topic that I put out at the beginning of COVID. But there's information for all of our programs and just like why the Meta Reset, why cleansing, what this dense nutrition will yield in your life, the differences you can expect to see. So that's probably the best way to reach me currently.
Great. And it looks like you have a promo code for anyone who is interested in purchasing the Meta Reset.
Yeah.
Friends15 for 15% off. Thank you very much for that generosity.
No problem.
Sincerely hope that you guys have learned something today, that you give the Meta Reset a try. It's perfect. The spring equinox is around the corner, coming up on March 21st. And again, springtime is a perfect time to cleanse. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, then share it. Share it with your friends, subscribe, like, follow us on all the socials. You can also go to our website, integraltravel.com, to sign up for our newsletter to get information like this pushed directly to your inbox. So thanks so much again for watching. We'll see you next time.